Hey, what's up, guys and girls? Professor Tom here. Awesome to have you guys watching. I thought we haven't done one of these live sessions in ages. I'm always so busy training, filming, rolling, competing, traveling, and I wanted to be here to answer some of your questions, guys, whether that's about me or jiu-jitsu or like popular competitors or techniques. I'm here to help. Feel free to put messages down on the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer them for you guys. Been very busy. If you guys haven't seen me uploading as much in the past, it's just because we've been filming so many other courses and things like that, and we're back to putting new stuff out. You guys are going to see multiple new videos every week, and we're putting lots of different tweaks on them to make them more awesome for you guys. So thank you so much for your support. This channel has gotten so much more support than I could have ever hoped for. I just wanted to pay back to the jiu-jitsu community something because it's given me so much. So thanks so much. Timothy, cheers from Sweden. I'm glad you guys are getting out in Europe doing jiu-jitsu. You know, there's so many beasts coming from European jiu-jitsu right now. You know, obviously, Wodzinski being a prime example, and I know myself, you know, coming from Australia, I know what it feels like to be isolated. I spend quite a few months in the States every year, but most of my time I spend just training at my home gym in like a little town in Australia. So I certainly know how it feels to be isolated, but I think it's amazing. And what it does for your jiu-jitsu, certainly in your instance, Timothy, is when you're not around the hub, you appreciate, I think, your jiu-jitsu a lot more, and you can really create your own jiu-jitsu. So all the best for your training in Sweden. Oh, thanks for all the positive feedback, guys. Please, when I'm looking away, I'm not just watching TV or something, guys. I'm just trying to read the comments section on Paul's computer here. Man, people, D'Souza, how can I come visit you in the academy? We're in Adelaide, South Australia. Catch a plane to Sydney or Melbourne and catch a plane to Adelaide. Or drive, whatever, it's 8 hours. But I got a small town. I teach every day. I roll and train every day, multiple times a day. Everyone's welcome. We have visitors from like interstate or even internationally for like every week. You know, we get at our academy. So we just love having people down. So you're more than welcome to come down and get some training in. I always love to roll and train with some new people. Hey, morning, Aaron. Some of my actual physical academy students I see jumping on. Jason, do you like I love the comment, Jason, and yes, I do. Me and so much good for a truly good teacher. Thanks, Timothy. I appreciate it. Oh man, I appreciate you guys. You know, like a lot of people don't realize I read every comment that's ever made on the channel. You know, sometimes I can only just click on the like. You know, I don't have time to write back to everybody. But I read every single one. I've always read every single one, and I respond to the ones that need the feedback. And as much as I can, it takes me a lot of time every day, but I love doing it. I really appreciate your feedback, guys. It's awesome to help your journey, just as so many people have and do help my jiu-jitsu journey. What do we got? Oh, man, I'm getting all this positive feedback. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to go through this one by one, but it's awesome. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying some of the stuff and some of the ideas we put out there. I'm glad that my jiu-jitsu from a little town in Adelaide, same town where Craig Jones is from, for the record. I was out all night with his brother, funnily enough, last night. But I think you can, you know, if I feel that I can share something that will impact 10,000 people's jiu-jitsu or more, I think that's such a special thing. I'm just really glad that I'm able to get that. What have we got here? South Louisiana. I'm always in northwestern Louisiana, Cody. So I'm actually going to be back there in a bit over a month or something. I always go to Louisiana when I go to the States. I've got a whole bunch of friends that train there and good training partners. Wayne Knudsen in Shreveport is my main training partner, my best friend on the other side of the planet. But hey, hope we get to catch up sometime in Louisiana. I love Louisiana. It combines a lot of my favorite things. Like having a good time, some hard training in jiu-jitsu, some shooting guns, some cookouts and beers, all good things. So I do love Louisiana. Colombia, Nathaniel, awesome. Wow, it's awesome to have you guys from all over the world. That's amazing. I'd love to head out there sometime, get my Pablo Escobar on maybe. Just kidding. Just the questions of where I live. I live in Adelaide, South Australia, obviously in Australia, and I spent a few months in the States. So I normally base myself out of different areas, but normally Texas or Louisiana. Are you able to do one-handed push-ups? I don't know how many, but I'd say I can do one-handed pull-up, and I learned to push up one-handed long before that. So I'd like to say yes, Jason, and I feel comfortable because the camera is not going to go down low enough for you to call me out and test me on it. But I would say so. I don't know how many, though. I haven't done one in a few years. Fantastic. Some of the guys training in Bali. I've done lots of training in Bali. I love it there. Someone got their first sub from the armbar from the knees. Nice stuff. From California. I'll be in California, Angelo. I will be there in August, the 25th to the 1st of September, I think. So anyway, hope to catch you on a mat sometime out there. Rhode Island. Nice, Chris. Sao Paulo. Awesome to have you guys. I just wanted to quickly, while I've caught up finally to your comments, and thank you guys so much for them. Feel free to post any questions you have. I just want to talk about something that I've been doing in my training lately. Guys, I really think that the more and more I coach, the more and more I try to give people closed loop systems. I know this sounds a bit odd, but closed loop systems, so like all roads lead to Rome. As a coach and as a competitor, and obviously as a coach of competitors, I really find that what makes someone a good jiu-jitsu coach doesn't necessarily make them a good jiu-jitsu athlete. In fact, it can be opposite. I know for myself, you know, I spend hours a day on my education, so I'm able to have answers when people pay me to ask questions for, you know, jiu-jitsu techniques, whether it's a group class or private lesson or a seminar or whatever. You know, I pride myself on that. But that's not really what makes you, having a million tricks doesn't make you a good competitor. Realistically, the fewer you have, probably the better. So you can really have an all roads lead to Rome approach. So say if 50-50, the cross side straight ankle lock is your move, you know, like you want to be able to get to 50-50 from the bottom, from the top, and you want to have all the variations. And if they roll out, attacking the knee bar or the toe hold, and, you know, passing in the back, all the different things that you would do from there. And I've been seeing great success on the competition mats with my students. Even myself, me training with my buddies and training partners and students. I've got a competition coming up next week, which you guys should be able to jump on and see a live stream of at the Australian Grappling Championships Invitational. It's awesome. Second time I've been on that show, fighting for the heavyweight belt. So if you guys want to jump on Australian Grappling Championships, I believe they stream it. I think it's even free to stream. So jump on, check it out. I hope you guys like my walkout song. It's the coolest sort of grappling show we have in Oz. I love it. I hope to you guys can catch me on there. Got some people from Poland. Awesome, man. Jeez. Got some big dudes out there. They're worried once you guys all start running around with black belts. How's Peter Mack going? Great question. Peter Mack is the struggling grappler. You'd probably seen like a little sub channel like sort of come up with the channel. Peter Mack's a purple belt at my academy. He's one of my oldest students and one of my lightest students too. And he's a very physical job. So injury is normally the struggle, as with so many of you guys or girls out there, no doubt. And Peter's doing great. You know, like Peter's one of my close friends, not just a student. And he's mentored so many people in my academy. There's a whole bunch of people, like competitors and just normal guys or girls, that owe so much of their jiu-jitsu to Peter Mack. So he's doing awesome. The struggling grappler, maybe struggling a bit recently, but he is doing great. Yeah, I love Peter Mack. What can I say? Seminars in California. I don't know, Angelo, you tell me. I wasn't going to do seminars this trip. I did a lot last trip. But I love teaching seminars. It's my favorite thing to do. just because I love to roll and train and teach new people and give them ownership of one thing. Like, not one of those seminars where you learn 100 things and you don't remember. I like this one thing. Like, so I've changed you and you know where you learned it and you'll forever use it. So like, I love seminars. I'd love to do one in California. Heck, if you know someone with a gym that wants to come out, I don't do like minimum charge stuff. So I try to make it really easy for people to host me for seminars because they know they're not going to lose money. They're going to make money. Because for me, I do it out of love, and it just so happens that it makes money. So hey, if you guys anyone ever wants to host me, just send me a direct message on Facebook or email or whatever, tom@grapplingacademy.com. Always happy to put seminars on. I love teaching them. So someone's asked, I don't like running, but I need to improve my cardio. Do you have any good tips? Or would you say sparring a lot is good enough cardio training? To be honest, I kind of do think, Timothy, that sparring is enough for cardio, but that's different for me, isn't it? Because like I do a lot of rolling and training and stuff, so I'll spend hours and hours and hours and hours on my mat a day. So clearly that's enough. You know, I used to do out of hours cardio, but I find by the time I get into the weights room every day, and by the time I do 2 or 3 sessions of jiu-jitsu a day, the thought of like doing extra cardio, man, like all I do is eat and sleep other than that. So it would be hard, I think, to do extra cardio for me. But I've done like swimming and some jogging and some running, like on sand. I run on sand a lot at the beach near my house. And you know, cycling and a few different things like that. But I think in jiu-jitsu, like cardio, like just do jiu-jitsu if you can, unless you're injured, and then it's different. But I think just do jiu-jitsu and take care of your strength as well, because I think when you're a little bit stronger, you don't have to be constantly moving and struggling as much. So I think you can actually use less strength, funnily enough. So that's something I would suggest for cardio for sure, but just keep your flexibility out. No one does. I know we all pretend we do these elaborate stretching and drilling sessions, but I know none of us do. So don't forget to keep that one up. What have we got here? If you had to name your top 3 jiu-jitsu practitioners, who would they be and why? Ed, that's a great question. Thanks for asking it. I hadn't thought about this, but I have been asked this before. I can't even remember what I answered. I'd say my top 3 favorite would be right now. I really like Luis Panza. I really like. He's awesome. He's fighting on the heavyweight Grand Prix thing that they have at Masters Worlds every year. I know he's on that card. I hadn't seen until I watched him compete when he was a new black belt. I hadn't seen people do the footlocks like I like to do with the feet in and with the good posture. And so when I saw him doing it and just winning world titles, I really like Luis. He, like me, he's like pretty big, heavy guy now, but he's very flexible like me. So I think Luis is cool. I mean, obviously, what can I say? There's so many others, but I mean, I really like people that finish and are exciting. You know, I love Craig Jones. You know, Craig's awesome. Again, pretty similar body type sort of to me, but the guy's like a total beast and comes from my hometown. So Adelaide team. But yeah, Craig's awesome. I like his style. We have a pretty similar style, and he's just like ripping through all these dudes. So I love Craig. And if I had to say a third one, it would be really hard for me to go past like maybe Marcelo Garcia. I just think he's really nice. I don't know, Marcelo Garcia or Bernardo, they're both the 2 nicest guys, I reckon. So yeah, I would say one of those 2. I used to model a lot of my game on Marcelo Garcia and a lot of my game on Bernardo. Just coincidence. Just I really like them. So that's my top 3. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone important. Coach Tom, what exercises or regimen do you recommend for strength training, increasing your grip strength? For grip strength, for the record, I have actually found that don't do too much for it. My fingers are pretty good, as you can see. They're not like really crazy and jacked up, and I play spider guard and stuff every day. So I don't think you should do too much for the grip. I think finger pulleys and stuff can wear out. I don't know. That's just coming from like a time of rock climbing for me and seeing like finger injuries accumulate. So I think you got to be careful with these things. I actually think the best grip strength is to lift the heavy weights. If you have a look at like a strong guy, you'll see they'll have like a strong forearm, but people like me, like I'm not doing forearm weights and stuff. Like you're just picking up a 200 kilo deadlift bar and you have to hold on to that thing so tight that your grip's going to grow. So I personally, I do a pretty basic routine. I do a lot of like barbell work, but I've done everything. You know, I've done push-pull leg regimens, like single time a week and 6 day a week. So like 3 days a week and 6 days a week. You know, I've only been lifting weights. I was only 170 pounds in the gi 2 years ago and a couple months. So, yeah, March 2017, I was that weight. So, I'm 220 now. So that's like a fair bit of weight. So like I've worked out all the different ways. You know, that's like, it was another love of mine, you know, 10 years ago, with all the fitness stuff. And I think all ways work. For me, you want to lift heavy, but not so heavy you're getting injured. I have encountered issues when like, my deadlifts and squats and stuff got too far over 400 pounds for working sets, like under 5x5 and stuff. And I found a few little issues for that. And I hate that. Like I hate when my weightlifting takes me off the jiu-jitsu mats. I think weightlifting should keep you feeling good on the jiu-jitsu mats. So I do a pretty basic thing. These days, I'll probably do, my workouts would be like, I might say start with some deadlifts or something like that. Then I might do some overhead press. I might do some chin-ups. Might do some accessory work for my traps or something. But just a lot of athletic maneuvers and just basic stuff. Like it's not, getting strong is really easy. Just lift weights consistently. Good form, heavy, eat lots, and you know you're going to be good to go. So I've written out a few of my routines that I'm going to be making available for you guys. So you guys can see exactly what I do. But yeah, I love training. I love being stronger in the gym because I feel like I can get injured less in jiu-jitsu. And as long as you're doing that, I think conditioning is super important and you should definitely get onto it. Any chance of doing seminars in Melbourne, closer to home, and would love to see you teach live? I would love to go to Melbourne. I got so many buddies in Melbourne and stuff like that. Hey, if you're at a gym and you want to host me, I'll come over to Melbourne because I got a whole bunch of guys that I'd love to see and roll with and stuff. So, hey, contact me, tee it up. Like I said, I love teaching. I love traveling. I'll be in Melbourne, ironically, in September. I think the second weekend in September, like the 8th. So I'll be over there then anyway. Cool. Which beach? Aaron's wanting to know what beach I'm running on. It's a nudist beach, Aaron, and no, I do not run nude. Although, it does sound like a fun idea, having said that. There you go. Would you recommend wrestling or judo as a supplement to BJJ for takedowns? Boxing or Muay Thai for self-defense? Muay Thai, personally. Boxing is also great, especially for self-defense. I don't know. I've been kicked and kicked people in street fights, but I consider it an anomaly. I don't consider it normal. But I think for MMA, Muay Thai, certainly better. Boxing, when you close off your stance a bit, like I've been striking since I was a kid. Obviously, I'm known for jiu-jitsu, but I'm a martial artist first. I find boxing can close your stance off, and if you get a Thai boxer that's willing to chop at that leg, it's a little bit harder. A little bit of that turn stance makes it a bit harder to sprawl, whereas an open Muay Thai stance does well. I just employed like a full-time Muay Thai coach at my academy for similar reasons. In terms of, but boxing and Muay Thai are both great. You can knock someone out either way. Wrestling or judo, both is the answer. I mean, clearly wrestling for no-gi and judo for the gi. Although it's not that simple, I use a ton of judo no-gi and a ton of wrestling in the gi because I find most people don't expect it. I practice both. So I live in a temperate climate, you know, in Adelaide. So we have like a cold winter. Doesn't snow or anything, but we have a cold winter. So I do like 90% of my training in the gi, and then we obviously have a really hot summer. And when it's really hot summer, I will do 90% of my training no-gi. So that's how myself and a whole bunch of buddies of mine that have gyms in Australia ran it. And I just copied what they did. And that's how we run. So when it's cold, I wear a gi. When not, I wear no-gi. I love everything. I love no-gi. I love gi. They're the best. Did Guy get a girlfriend yet? John Taylor, you're so funny. No, ladies, guy is still single, all right? Feel free to get onto it. That's so funny. I can't believe anyone remembers I mentioned that in the video. Hilarious. Guy's a legend. He's one of my best friends on this earth. Rahowski's asked it. I've got to get some sleep, but big hello from Russia. Thanks for posting the videos. They're a big help. Hey, thanks very much. You get some sleep. I hope to make it over to Russia someday. I'm very fascinated by that country, that's for sure. Was there ever a time when you didn't want to do jiu-jitsu? I read the average time people do hobbies is 2 to 3 years. Did you ever feel like it was boring at some point, or was it always on your mind? I've had like a really interesting story with jiu-jitsu. I was like young, and there was like not a lot of established gyms where I was at, and I was teaching early, so I had to leave a gym, and then one shut down, and then I moved house, and there was lots of different things going on. And so during those times, it was easy just to be like, yeah, I won't train an academy. I've got a whole bunch of mates. I'll just train with them, you know. And so I do understand how you can fall out of the sport. And I think coming back into the sport is really hard. I really admire that in people. But in terms for me, I mean, I just love it. Like, I love everything. Like, I love all martial arts and stuff, but jiu-jitsu, it's in my brain every day, or 24/7. I wake up thinking about it in my sleep. I think about it. Jiu-jitsu has given me everything, and so I give everything I can to jiu-jitsu, and it just always gives me more back. You know, Higa Machado, my coach Carlos's brother, has a good quote saying, like, you know, the more you love jiu-jitsu, the more jiu-jitsu will love you back, and I couldn't say it better than that. So 2 to 3 years, man, yeah, everyone quits a blue belt. Don't get a black belt. They're worth it. They're good, I assure you. Thomas has written, thanks for the videos. How do you keep so consistently motivated? Well, I don't actually know that, do I? I guess, I don't know. People think that, like, my attitude is an act, or like I'm enthusiastic and it's this big act or something. It's obviously not, unless I've been able to keep it up for nearly 32 years. I love what I do. I love my life. I wake up every day super grateful that I get to help the guys and girls that I do out here and around the world. And I'm able to support myself and my children and stuff. Like, what more could I ask for? You know, like, I'm happy every day, and what more can I ask for? Hey, thank you for the positive feedback, guys. Would you recommend getting more strength going from purple to brown belt and then into black belt? Does that mean like you want to get stronger going from purple to brown and then into black? I mean, getting stronger is always going to be good. Doesn't matter what belt you're at. I didn't really get strong until I was like a brown belt, but I've been training a long time by then. So I probably would say I only got strong kind of at like the black belt level, and it really helped me because all the moves that work when I was a lanky 170 pounder, funny story, tend to work better when you're 220 pounds and you do the same thing with the same fitness and the same flexibility. 50 pounds of muscle is going to help get the job done. So I recommend just start training. I mean, unless you're going to do steroids and stuff, you're probably not going to get really strong quick. Like, I train every day, and it's taken me years and stuff. But, you know, you can just eat a lot, like healthy, and try to put weight on. And if you're older in jiu-jitsu, I've found some of the older guys really want to get into their training because they're injured all the time. But then they're getting more run down, you know, like they're lifting the weights, and then they're like, oh, I'm all sore now I can't even do jiu-jitsu. And a few of them, like in my academy personally, have gotten like blood tests and stuff and check their testosterone levels. I think that's really important, especially if you're an older trainer. If you're like 20 or 30, it's probably through the roof. But for older trainers, I think that's super important. What have we got here? I know you've said butterfly guard is a favorite of your students, but do you think you can do a video on escaping passing butterfly guard? It's a big sticking point for me. Yeah, sure. I'll tell you the 2 ways I pass right now. Ready? I'm going to do it right now for you. I'm going to put my shoulder over your knees and onto your chest. I'm going to make sure my head is down and controlling you with good posture. I'm going to reach over and I'm going to control both of your shins, and I'm going to hop over. I do have, I have this video up on the channel, so definitely check that one out. The other one from butterfly for me is just going to be a smash. You know, just smash the legs to the side, smash in, heavy hit, tight pressure, just being a 220-pound black belt jerk, basically. Just kidding. Pressure's good. You got to use pressure. And so, yeah, that's how I do with butterfly guard. But the one thing about butterfly guard is, like, you can't let them keep their structure. You have to try to put their back on the mat and stuff. And if they sit up and you can't do that, then you want to be really good with, like rolling Kimura traps. I think they're really good. We've got obviously a whole series on that, but I love that. Awesome. What have we got here? Gary, what's up, coach? God. Oh, hilarious. Hey, morning, everybody. Wow, so ill mind, you were injured after 3 months, and then you had a month off to repeat this. Yeah, man, sometimes it's just a test. And sometimes, you have to just realize this is a long-term journey, and if you're off the mats for a few months, that might happen. But, you're going to get back on the mats and you're going to do great in your journey. And maybe because you've been off the mats, it's not what's going wrong. It's what it's trying to tell you. Sometimes, like, I was getting injured all the time for a while. And I was, like, really not keen on that idea. And so then when I started, for instance, realizing, well, it's because I'm wrestling these 250-pound guys and I'm 170 pounds, I might need to, like, put a bit of weight on it, warm up a bit better, or hold my body stronger. Like, don't let people separate my limbs and stuff like that. So I would recommend that too, but it's hard coming back. I agree with you, but I think it's the hard things in life that are the most rewarding. So because it is hard, you should definitely do it. Aaron's right. I can confirm Coach Tom is just as enthusiastic off camera, if not more. Love it. There you go. Ratted out by one of my students. Aaron, future champion there. This guy, Aaron Steele, that's commented on here, he is like, makes me look tiny. He is like taller and way bigger and stronger than me. He makes me look like a 120-pounder. Thomas King, appreciate a response. No worries, man. God. We had a string of powerlifters starting up, many former wrestlers. As a P belt, I presume you're talking about purple belt, I try to use skill and can control them. Yet I feel like I have to start lifting to match them. Any thoughts? Soon you will. Once they learn all your dirty purple belt tricks, man, they're gonna come at you. One of my buddies, actually a former powerlifting world record holder, Aaron Lawrence, he just got his black belt this year. So I know about strong guys. And what they can do when they become black belts. So my suggestion is, I think you should lift for you, not for anyone else. Doesn't matter if you're strong. They're your training partners. But I think it'll help you not be injured. It'll help you explore more jiu-jitsu because you'll be able to control the roll a little bit more. And I think it has other benefits too, like in terms of minimizing injuries. And I don't know. Some people like being big and strong, or they like the look of their body or something. And if that's you, good for you. What are we here, hey? I hope to swing by your academy next time. We're in your part of Oz. Yeah. Do you take visitors? Family of 5? Family of 5. Well, I have no idea what age you are, but we have kids classes and adults classes. We don't train together with the kids and adults most of the time, but we got a whole bunch of back-to-back sessions, so you're more than welcome to come down. We love having visitors. We have cheap casual rates. Come on down. You're always welcome. Someone's put 35-year-old white belt, first competition, any advice? Now, there's probably a few of you who have got your first competition coming up that could probably really relate to this. I would say if you've got your first competition up, the first thing you got to get through your head is it doesn't matter what happens. And I know you're saying, oh, yes, I've already accepted that. My coach tells me it doesn't matter if it's winning or learning. And, yeah, I know all that stuff. But I think for me, it took me till I was like a black belt to compete right. I was always competing a couple times a year and stuff. I didn't compete right. I'd be like too relaxed or too on, too switched on. But I didn't really care if I won. And when I lost, I just wanted to distance myself from it. I didn't take it too hard. I was happy that the other guy won. I didn't think competition was for me. I'm just so glad I didn't turn my back on it, because I think jiu-jitsu competition gives like some special things to you personally, not just like your jiu-jitsu, but actually special things. Like I think it it can transform who you are as a person almost as powerfully as jiu-jitsu in and of itself. So my advice to you is just have fun, go out, do as many matches as you can. If you got open weight, do open weight, whatever. And just go out and have a simple game. You're going to have one takedown or a guard pull, one pass, one sweep, one submission, and just work on those things and just go out there and have some fun and then get stuck into your next competition too. That's my advice. So where are we here? The whole technique conquers strength is true, but I feel that what was said when people didn't know, that was said when people didn't know BJJ. If they know BJJ, of course strength becomes the next equalizer. That's a good comment. Have both. I tell students, like I like shooting. It was a hobby. A lot of buddies of mine enjoy it too in jiu-jitsu here in America. And you learn to shoot with a small caliber, ideally. So you learn to shoot with a 22 long rifle caliber, something like this. And then you move that caliber up. Once you learn how to shoot straight, if we change that 22 caliber to a 300 Win Mag, my favorite rifle round, that's going to do some different damage. And so true in jiu-jitsu. But if I taught you to shoot a 300 Win Mag as your first gun, that's not going to work out very well for you. So I think jiu-jitsu is the same with strength. So you want to have the highest caliber you can have, but you want to shoot straight. So I believe jiu-jitsu is vastly more important. 90% is jiu-jitsu. I think you can get about 90% of the strength benefits by just training 2 times a week. If I wasn't a full-time athlete or coach and stuff, I probably wouldn't train this much. So yeah, I would say, technique beats strength for sure. Technique plus strength beats technique without strength. And I got to give a shout out to my buddy, Anthony Parosh. I don't know, someone tell that he's not going to be watching this, but someone might know him and be watching this. I got to give a shout out to my buddy, Black Belt Masters World Champion, Anthony Parosh, UFC veteran, beast. He's helped me with a lot of things in my my career up to this point. And one of the biggest ones was he saw me. I was like at a competition at a purple belt or something. And he just looked straight at me when I asked him for competition advice. And he's like, "You're too skinny. All these other guys are like big jack dudes on steroids and stuff, and you're not even lifting weights." And I was naturally skinny. So if you don't do the weights and you're naturally skinny and you're not on the steroids, I mean, and you roll all day, you're not going to be very physically imposing. And so he gave me that heads up. And he just told me no bullshit. Like I needed to lift weights and I needed to take this seriously. And I love it now. It was one of the best hard bits of advice. I did not want that advice. I didn't want to lift weights. I hated lifting weights. If you look at some of the early videos on this channel, I don't know, maybe I've deleted them by now, but I talk about how much I hate lifting weights and I'll never lift weights. And now I love it. So I have to thank Anthony for that. So what have we got here? Foot tall. Damien, I've met you at kids class. I'm on a 12-hour shift. Interested in joining, but procrastinating. I am about 7. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But I would say, Damien, if you are procrastinating, just do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Wise man once said that. Just get down. We're a friendly gym. We're a friendly people. We're going to take care of you, and you're only going to be disappointed if you don't come down. You're not going to regret coming down. You're going to regret not coming back down. So come on down, Damien. We'll have a roll. We'll have some fun. I see what you've said, Damien. I'm about 7 foot tall. Is BJJ for me? Everyone reading this right now is like, crap, that dude's going to triangle me from like 2 meters away. Absolutely it is. Height is a wonderful attribute to make use of. I know I'm 6'4" myself. It changes your game. I used to be short in jiu-jitsu, then I grew tall. But I love it. Yeah, get started, Damien. Hey, thanks, Sideshow Ripper. I appreciate it. Hey, Damien, thanks for the positive feedback. I love, teaching the kids at my academy. I love the kids. I'm just so honored that they wrestle so hard for me each and every lesson. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. Hey, Aaron, that's right. Now you're going to have another giant with you training. I love this stuff. Ah, you're bad, the Murray River. Oh, fantastic. I love being up the Murray River. That's like our big river in our hometown in South Australia. I love it. I love being in the Murray. What else we got? What was it like leading up to taking your black belt promotion, and how did it feel when you got it? Well, there is the video, so I suppose you could see that. I don't know. I was lost for words, so that's where it was. I not normally lost for words. It was very emotional for me. Like, my journey to black belt has taken me through multiple gyms around the world and different things, and I've been living it for so long. When I was like a purple belt, I saw buddies get their blacks and stuff like that. Like, so I was probably sandbagging a little bit just because I wasn't. I don't believe I was a black belt till I got a black belt. But mentally, there was an important stage for me, and the black belt didn't mean anything. Black belt doesn't change mentality at all. But I think it was just the most proud achievement I'd had in my life to that point. Personal achievement, it was certainly up there with, birth of my kids, stuff like that. So for whatever that means, it was good. I highly recommend getting a black belt. They're awesome. Who have we got now, huh? What takedowns do you recommend to learn first? I think, well, from the street, you can do different things to untrained people. So you can do things like bear hugs and stuff. I like to teach people like a throw and a shoot takedown. I mean, double legs, or single leg, like a high head inside single is always great. Double leg, obviously, head outside is also great. But I don't know, it's weird. You go to a good gym, and a gym that has like good guillotines, like my gym, and we're allowed to guillotine in wrestling class. You're not going to have heaps of fun getting choked every time you go to shoot a double. So snap downs and using the front headlock, I think, for beginners is amazing because it's really low risk and it gives them submissions and takedowns. So there you go. Who else have we got? Website and your video course recommendations. thegrapplingacademy.com. www. thegrapplingacademy.com, guys. I've got I sat down for like a whole day and filmed a whole bunch of premium courses. I'll always put stuff on YouTube, and the stuff that I do have in premium courses I don't put on YouTube. I do try to keep it separate, but we try to price them well and put specials on for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy those videos. A lot of the feedback I get is from those premium courses, and you guys asking questions and interacting with me, and I absolutely love that process. And I'm just so glad that I know I've been able to put a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I always will, and I love it, and I'm so glad we've got up to 500 videos. But at the same token, obviously I just can't totally do an entire topic. I just can't spend the hours on the one thing to give you the same as I'd like to give to a private student of mine. And that's why I did these premium courses, just because I was running out of time personally and professionally, and I wanted you guys to have cool stuff. So yeah, thegrapplingacademy.com, please feel free. And in terms of the courses, probably some of the most feedback, I mean, everyone loves the trapdoor and the Kimura and the white to blue belt. I mean, they eat that up, but we've got so many on there. But in terms of daily feedback, like daily positive feedback, those three would lead the way. But yeah, jump on. I think we've got a special on at the moment. You can get some discount. So I appreciate your support, guys. I'll always do what I do for you guys and put stuff on YouTube and do these sessions. And I really appreciate the support back. I really do. As a jiu-jitsu athlete, we're never guys that are going to be making a whole bunch of money doing what we love. But what we do and what we give is just as much as any other athlete that's earning $100 million. But, when people come to seminars, when people purchase premium courses and stuff like that, it really goes a long way and facilitates my training and facilitates me supporting you guys as well. So thank you so much for that. We have favorite submission ever. It's hard to say, but I've been doing heel hooks longer than almost any other submission. A lot of people don't know because I don't practice them a lot in the gi, obviously. Inverted heel hook, probably, from like a modified, kind of like a 50-50, but the 80-20, but the leg over the far hip. I don't know what cool kids are calling it these days, but that's like a very not popular position to do it from, but I like it best. So inverted heel hook, simply being that one thing I realized, guys, with submissions, and I really got to tell you this, is not all submissions work at the high level, and people are willing to break. Sometimes if you can put a straight ankle lock on someone and you just kind of like, dislocate their ankle or just pop it bad and stuff, they'll let it heal, because it'll only take a month to heal. They'll let their elbow pop. There's a whole bunch of things people will let go, but the inverted heel hook is normally not one of them. So I like that. I like that it can cause catastrophic damage, because ultimately they have a chance to tap. So the inverted heel hook would be my number one, but not something that I would recommend anyone do below colored belt for sure. Ray has asked, Professor Tom, thanks for taking the time to post so many great videos. Any chance you'll be rolling through Texas anytime soon? Houston in particular. I was going to be in Houston, funnily enough. I'm rocking up into Texas August 9th. But then I'm flying out to do some training with some buddies and stuff for in Colorado, and then I'll be back in Texas, I think, on the 13th, I think, through to the 20th. So, but not in Houston. I was going to go down for the Houston AGF, but then I ended up getting called elsewhere, so won't be there for that. But hey, would love to have you down. I was in Houston last time for the Houston Open. I had heaps of fun. Paul has written, should jiu-jitsu students join competitions? Yeah, for sure. I think it's great. I think the only thing wrong with jiu-jitsu competitions is in your head. And I think if you have an excuse right now why you don't compete in jiu-jitsu, it's really important to analyze that excuse, because even if it's valid, it's still an excuse. An excuse is still an excuse. And you have to ask yourself, are you the guy that wants to, or girl that wants to make excuses, or you want to make changes? I don't like to make excuses, but jiu-jitsu competition's a cool thing. Got to do it at least once, Paul, for sure. Sacha Rupert said, thoughts on 10th Planet high rollers? I like them both. There was a guy with like a 10th Planet hat or whatever at my gym this morning, and a guy with a high rollers hat this morning. Like, true story. I should say last night, last one. I like them both. Obviously, it's different, like depending on where you're reading this from. There are going to be people that may be like very conservative that say, we don't support 10th Planet or high rollers because they talk about cannabis consumption. And obviously, even as a coach myself or whatever, I understand that. But also, like, for instance, I was talking about Colorado, California, these places, Nevada, I'll be out in a couple of months. Well, it's completely recreationally legalized. So it does change even the political correctness of talking about this. But I'm a libertarian myself. I think you can do anything you want to do if it doesn't hurt or negatively impact the lives of others. But that is an asterisk there. Be careful with it. I think there's a lot of, at least 50% of the people I know in jiu-jitsu smoke weed every day. So I certainly have no negative judgment, like I won't talk about it much further, because I do want to be a good role model for the young athletes. I don't believe anyone should use cannabis, personally, like under 21. That's just personal. You guys might think I'm old school like that, but personally, I think like do growing up first. But I'd love to compete on high rollers or something. That'd be fun. Who else we got? Oh, my pleasure. You guys, appreciate the feedback. Shout out from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sorry I missed you up in Shreveport. Been following for 3 years. Love the vids. Awesome, Jordan. Man, I'd love, one of my buddies has got a gym down at Baton Rouge. And so my buddy in obviously Shreveport, Wayne, he loves going down there. With me and him, we're going to head down maybe to Baton Rouge last time. So hopefully we get a chance to jump on the mats. But I'd love to head down there. I know quite a few of my buddies in Louisiana love Baton Rouge. Would love to go have a look at it too. We've got cheers from Brazil. Hey, awesome. I always love if I have Brazilians down to my academy or on my channel, because, you guys are where it all started, right? Craig Jones speaks that language. Yet to try, still want. True. Oh, okay. I think, Rupert, you might be talking about what I was saying with Craig Jones. I'm not sure what you're referring to. The only thing I can think of is the fact that he likes inverted heel hooks so much. You may be referring to the fact that it's his. I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, Craig Jones, badass. I was out all last night with his brother having fun, hoping some of the magic Craig Jones genetics can rub off on me. All right. Thank you so much. You guys like the Take Pride in Your Suffering video? That's cool. You're a 110-pound female white belt? Oh, that's cool. That's a real gift, you know. Well, I have, like, one of my best female students. She's just a new blue belt. She's the same weight as you've mentioned here, like 50 kilos, 110 pound. I think it's a blessing in disguise. I really do. Because you don't have physicality to get in the way of your technicality, your technique is going to go through the roof. So 110-pound female athlete, spider guard, tricky stuff, you know, start attacking the legs, the neck, go for real vulnerable things. Try not to move someone's whole body. Just really try to apply your force to a small area, whether it's going for the legs, inverted heel hooking, or whether it's guillotines or back takes. All are great options for the lighter athlete. Because remember, the lighter athlete is a faster athlete. So what have we got here? So thanks. Oh, man, I appreciate it. What are some of the best guards, moves, and submissions for tall, lanky guys like me? I'm a pretty tall, lanky guy. I might not be considered lanky anymore. Some stupid weights might have changed a few things, but I consider myself still a lanky guy. I've still got my flexibility and long legs, obviously, and arms. Lankiness, be careful, because the things that are good for the lanky guy will make you be slack. So good arm bars, good triangles in particular. Darces, arm triangles. I think the Darce is the best one for the lanky guys and gals. But just make sure you're still cutting the angles. You're still eliminating the shoulder when you do these chokes. But other than that, you know, like, you can do what you like. I even though I'm tall, I've got a bit of an eclectic game because I developed a lot of my game when I was the short kid. And so I do a lot of things that tall guys don't do that I think are very effective. Like, my butterfly guard is pretty good. Some of my black belt buddies out there know that my butterfly guard, for a lanky guy, you can flip them pretty high. So I think the butterfly guard's pretty good for lanky tall guys, but you just got to get a nice, good, strong quad and good, strong abs. Not like strong, like you can squat hundreds of kilos, although please feel free to. That's great. Just more so you've got the muscular tension to keep your lanky body in alignment when you go for your sweeps. What have we got, huh? Greetings from Dallas, Andrew, Kim. Awesome. I love Dallas. It's my home away from home. Heel hook. Yep. Okay. What is the gym in Baton Rouge? Cody, I believe the gym in Baton Rouge, my buddy Wayne could probably confirm this, but I have a feeling I don't have my phone on me, but I was going to say, I believe it's Josh Mancuso's gym, if I remember correctly. Anyway, super keen to head down there. Can't wait. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Please make a program with Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of people don't know Batman, Wayne. Chewy and I, we've spoken to each other before. We did like a little interview. We were going to sort of do a little podcasty type thing together. Yeah, hey, maybe we'll do something. I like that guy, man. Nick's a cool dude. Yeah, hey, thanks for the positive feedback. Aaron, what are some of your favorite plant-based nutritional choices for recovery after hard training? I ate completely plant-based for 6 years. I don't anymore. Plant-based, to be honest with you, Aaron, in terms of plant-based stuff, especially when I was in America, I ate a lot of like the meal alternative stuff. It's not really super duper healthy probably, but you know, for high protein and stuff, you know, I ate a lot of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, just anything. I think carbohydrates are super important, Aaron. So they're super easy to get. And I commend you, for making a plant-based decision, and I certainly wish you well. I felt it did do well for me for 6 years, although I do enjoy having an omnivorous diet nowadays, for better or worse. Who have we got here? Greetings from Mexico. I love it. I'd love to head to Mexico. I've got a couple of buddies in Mexico. I'd love to head down there and see them. But I've always wanted to go to Mexico, go down to Cancun or something, have some fun. Have you used a hemp gi? Are they as good as they're meant to be? Thing about that, Rupert, is hemp gis change drastically. I have a hemp gi I wear every week. They don't make them anymore. It was like a customable thing. But that's my favorite gi I probably own. I love that thing. Some hemp stuff can be like pretty crappy, to be honest. Some of my students get hemp gis and they love them because they saw them on some podcast or something, and they're just like the worst gis ever. So I'm not sure. The one that I have that I love, I don't think they make them anymore. It's from Hemp Sensations, I reckon. That's what is written in green on the back. But I love it as a material, as a tool of clothing and everything else. I think it's wonderful. If you had to choose one thing alone to advise a white belt other than keep showing up, what would it be? Learn something every day. I tell this to my bloody white belts every day. Just learn something every day. Every day. And you say, well, I learn 10 things every day. Okay, super cool. But what are you going to do differently? So like whenever I roll, I have like rules that I give myself. Like really like almost, I want to say like binary rules. Like I say like, if I get here, I am now always going to go back, not forwards. Or so say you're passing a butterfly guard and you went forwards too much and he swept you over. You would say, okay, next time I'm in butterfly guard, I'm going to go back. That's a rule. You want to make sure you want to make one of those distinctions of how you will be a different grappler immediately. And you want to do that minimum once. So not just learning, but changing and demanding change of yourself as a grappler every lesson. Super important. That's the most important thing, because showing up actually, I don't think is the most important thing, because you can show up, but if you don't change, then what's showing up doing you? Just exposing you to injury and letting you hang out and wrestle your mates. So I definitely think, and just take ownership. Your coach's job isn't to give you jiu-jitsu. Your coach's job is to provide you with a training facility where you can surround yourself with like-minded guys and girls and train in a safe environment and develop real combat jiu-jitsu skills. So obviously there's a bit of education in that process, but there's a massive part of you bringing that. So whether it's from channels like me or books or seminars, whatever, but really taking ownership of your jiu-jitsu. And every time something goes wrong, solve the problem. I'm getting my guard passed. Well, I wasn't gripping his collar with my right hand. Well, bingo, that's probably it. Add that in. If you get past tomorrow, what else is it? Well, my left foot wasn't a tight hook. I should have put a De La Riva in. Well, do it and then check again tomorrow. And sooner or later, if you start making these small little things, people aren't going to be able to pass your guard. You're going to be an amazing white belt. And I certainly believe that you can get to an industry tapping blue belt rate in 6 months if you do it right. If you give me a student and they're willing to work and they're willing to train, and I can work with them privately a little bit, in 6 months I'll have them tapping like a normal blue belt. I'm not saying I'll tap them every time. I'm saying it might be 1 for 1, but absolutely I can get a normal person within 6 months doing that. I've always prided myself on that. It's no secret. I've just used the same techniques and teaching methods that my coaches, John Will and Carlos Machado, have used. But I am like strict, and I care about my athletes a lot. I think about my jiu-jitsu athletes at my academy all the time. And like, what would I do if I were them? What have we got? Ever had to use BJJ outside the usual environment? Street, pub, wedding? It's funny because I don't know who's, Rupert, your smiley face makes me think that maybe you know some of my stories, but yes, I have. I'm a really easygoing guy. Yeah, jiu-jitsu is great. That's why I started it. I only started jiu-jitsu because like I wanted to have a super secret martial art that worked and I could, not get beat up. so that's what like got me into martial arts and everything. And jiu-jitsu was like the coolest one. And the one that I found like worked the best. Like when you're having the fight that doesn't go right, I found jiu-jitsu worked really well. Against people on the street, it was like a joke. But you know I don't fight a lot, and ever since I've gotten heavier, I don't know. I guess people don't want to fight you as much. I used to get in some altercations because if like people littered or threw cigarette butts at the beach and stuff, I'd like return them to them, I guess you could say. And, you know, some people used to arc up at that kind of thing and there'd be some altercations. But now they just say, oh, sorry. So it doesn't really happen too much. Please tell a story. They say a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, and a person who's telling the truth doesn't fight and tell. But I don't really have any good stories, you know. I'm not some, you know, hardcore street fighter that's fought thousands of times. I'm a nice guy. I'm a competitive guy. I'm a very protective guy. So, you know, if someone is hurting someone else or something like that, then there may be a problem. But I'm very aware that at least in my local community, I have, you know, I have a reputation and I have a business and things like that. So, you know, it's not going to look great if a guy is beating up people all the time. But I certainly believe, you know, it's better be tried by 12 than carried by 6. So if you guys need to use jiu-jitsu in the street, I would suggest just going for it. Don't wait, be first. I mean, I can't give you that advice really because I don't know your self-defense laws. Like in my home state, I can tell my students that, you know, be first, do what you have to do to be safe and then worry about him later. So it's not that funny. Here's the deal, Rupert. The street fights in jiu-jitsu go like this. This is how they go. This is what I found. Is whether you hit them or you just tackle them, they fall down on their butt. You get to mount, and then they turn over as soon as you smack them, or even before, and then you choke them with a rear naked, and you sort of stand up because you're adrenalized and they're unconscious, and you're like, what now? I guess this is where I run off. I wouldn't advise hitting them when they're unconscious, you know, a good way to end up in jail. But so yeah, there's your story, Rupert. That is like the normal story of myself or one of my students in an altercation. Tackle, mount, they turn over. If they don't slap them in the head or punch them, and then they turn over and choke. Ever grapple a mad black woman? I have no idea where that comment is coming from. One of my close friends is an amazing black belt. Actually, I believe she may have been the first African-American black belt female. So she's a beast. I love training with her under Carlos Machado. So I guess she's not mad. She's an awesome black woman with some awesome jiu-jitsu. But yeah, hope that satisfies your question, Frank. I'll have to try to rouse up more people and wrestle more people. They're hard to pin down. Oh, Frankie, I don't even know what I'm reading. What do you consider the best BJJ practitioner ever? I'm gonna upset some apple carts here because I would like to say that I think the best BJJ practitioner ever. I don't know. Part of me wants to. I'm not going to answer Hickson because I think that's a real normal answer. I'd say the guy that came in after Hickson and was the dominant big guy. They even fought Higan Machado. If you look at Higan Machado and Hickson's match, I think it's a very interesting match. You should watch it. But I think after that tide, I think Higan Machado had a level of dominance that a lot of people talk about that many didn't have. And he didn't toot his own horn, but Higan's a beast. I'll tell you that much. You know, big coral belt with a brother full of 5 black belts. You know, you're going to get tough. Hospital security here. Never had to use BJJ, but your story sounds like my imagination. I'm surprised you haven't had to use BJJ. I actually have like a hospital security guard in my studentship who's like pinning dudes down all the time. I don't know. Maybe people don't smoke as much crystal meth where you're from. I think they do here, and they go to hospitals and cause absolute muck. So the more people that are jiu-jitsu pinning these people down, the better. Like it was nothing. people can escape police holds, Frank. Man, I have police in my academy, and like we joke around all the time saying, I wonder if you could arrest that person. You know, it doesn't always work. Guys, I guess, if you've got any questions, quickly post them up. I'm going to probably turn off. I hope you guys have had fun. I look forward to doing this again. You know, I'm glad I was able to answer some of your questions. I'm fighting next Australian time. Will be next Saturday night. The Australian Grappling Championships, AGC Invitational 4. Awesome show, my favorite show of the year. Wicked, big stage, and some good fighting for a belt this time, some nice prize money. So I hope you guys can see me do my thing. I'll promise I'll go out there to fight my heart out no matter what. But I look forward to seeing you guys online or offline sometime soon. Thanks so much, guys. Happy training. Take care.
Yeah.